Gala Music. It's our final group of finalists from our LA Open Mic event. As a reminder, voting opens after our Top of the Drop show this week. It'll be open for 6 days where you and the community will get to pick the top 3 artists to receive a bronze NFT drop on our platform. Everyone can vote. You just need to create a Gala Music account in order to select your favorite 3 artists. Yes, you can vote 3 times. And for node owners and music NFT holders, your vote has twice the weight, or the equivalent of 6 votes. Voting ends on March 1st, and we'll announce the winner during the Top of the Drop show on March 2nd. Good luck to our 15 finalists, and happy voting, guys. Amanda Cecily, super happy to have you with us as a finalist. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is amazing. I'm honored to be a part of this. I'm really excited.
I would love it if you could just sort of walk us through, like, tell us the story, like your musical journey, how you got to hear your vibe.
So I grew up doing music. Like, since I could speak, I could sing. Like, that's just how it was. I was born into a very musical family. My mom likes to think that she's musical, but my dad is a professional musician. He has toured the world with various bands. He's toured with Sublime, Linkin Park, Cypress Hill. He was in Cypress Hill for a while. Um, and so I was just, ever since I was in the womb, like in my mom's belly, like my mom was side stage at Limp Bizkit in Long Beach, Linkin Park, like pregnant with me. So I was always around music. It like wasn't an option to not be around music all the time. And so having my dad around kind of sparked my interest in music. And so I started singing at a really young age. It kind of started in the church. I would sing just, worship music in church. And then I would do little plays here and there, like musicals. And then I got into choir groups. And then I was a cheerleader for a few years in high school. And I didn't really have time to prioritize music because it was year round. And then I ended up after high school during COVID, kind of figuring out that I wanted to do music again and actually sit and write my own music and become a solo artist. So yeah, I've been writing music now for about 3 years, putting out music on all platforms for around 3 years. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey. Having my dad there has been super helpful. He got me into like a music school out in Hermosa Beach so I could learn how to do just like technical stuff with my voice. And that's where I learned to record and produce. I don't produce, but just like the ins and outs of what it looks like behind the scenes. And yeah, it's been a super cool journey.
We used to sit there side by side, the ocean where you'd hold me tight, and now without you, they're just sad sunsets. They're just sad sunsets. Ooh. The more I try to mute the sun, the more you stay on my mind.
Gala Music, happy to be joined by Jarrett. How's it going, man?
What's up? I'm feeling groovy, man.
Could you walk us through just like your story, your music background?
I came from North Carolina probably about 5, 6 years ago, and I have a real family, but when I was staying in North Carolina, I was staying with my foster family in Wake Forest, and when I came out here with 2 good friends, and they decided that LA wasn't for them, man. When they left, I decided to stay. I felt like it was for me, and when I stayed, I was going through a lot. I was definitely homeless for the first 2 years that I was here, and when I was homeless, I ended up meeting up with a cousin who was attending the class with Layla Steinberg, and he brought me to the class. I met a bunch of different friends, and I started attending more, and the more I started attending and being consistent with, just showing up for myself, I started having help from everybody who was there, man. And from there, I elevated. I got myself a job out here, and yeah, man, everything else just kind of started coming in as I was manifesting everything else.
Feel me no more, and you don't need me no more, and you came closer and closer than anyone else has before. If she keeps running, singing any, many, my name up. If he keeps running, bet you catch that fucking nigga by his tongue. And if they holler, kicking, screaming, fighting, baby, let them go. Cause you can't win without a soul. And that's the story mama told.
Sam, happy to have you with us today. How's it going, man?
Thank you. What up, Taco? All is well. I'm happy to be here.
I would love it if you could just kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your musical journey and just like your whole vibe.
That's quite the journey, right? Originally, I'm from New Orleans. That's where I was born and raised. I grew up playing a host of instruments, everything from the trumpet to the clarinet to the drums in church. Marched in Mardi Gras bands and in parades. And I fell in love with hip hop as a youth. When I was like 7 years old, I still remember my first rap from when I was 7 years old, believe it or not, right? And so I've been doing music for a long time. And then I moved to California. And so my influence with music was everything from the South, from jazz to blues to gospel music, soul music, all the way to the East Coast, to the rap music coming from the East Coast, to the poets, and then the West Coast with the gangster rap vibe, and even the MCs out here all the way to the Bay Area. I grew up really loving music and always having music in my background, but I was also in the streets, for lack of a better term to put it out there. I was in the streets, content with making bad decisions, and growing up, seeking a way out of my immediate environment. I wanted an immediate escape, and oftentimes having no role models or any mentors, I sought to get it, in the same fashion that I seen other successful people, or people who I thought were successful around me getting it. And that meant like selling drugs, robbing, stealing, anything that could bring an immediate dollar in order to bring immediate relief to what I was dealing with and how we were growing up. So as a result, long story short, I wound up going to prison with a life sentence. And so when I went to prison, I did a lot of growing and maturing and evolving and gaining knowledge of self. And I served 24 years, Taco. And when you saw me step up on that stage the other day, I have been out for like 390 days. So basically like a year and some change. And it was just such an honor to go from sitting inside of a prison cell with a life sentence, not knowing if I was going to come home or when I was going to come home, to being at a Gala event and performing at such a high quality venue and being able to share my music. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm also an activist, for lack of a better term. I continue to live my life now to make amends for all the harm that I caused prior to transforming the way I think and behave. I try to give back in everything that I do. Today, I am the co-founder, along with my wife, Jamelia, of the Anti-Violence, Safety, and Accountability Project. I'm the founder of the 10P program, and I teach inside of prisons. Now I go back inside the prison and actually teach a program that I created. And I'm also the author of a bill that was just reintroduced by Assembly Member Lori Wilson a few days ago on the 15th that will end involuntary servitude and slavery in the California prison system once and for all. So those are like some of the things that I do. And it all informs my music. Every now and then you might hear me sing a song that you might consider ignorant. Like some people who don't know my upbringing, if I say the N-word, they're like, oh, Sam Brown said the N-word. what I know from living my lifestyle, my lived experience, is that sometimes in order to reach the people that you need to reach, you got to, put a little candy flavoring on the medicine and give it to them in a way that they understand until you can give them straight medicine. And so you'll find that in my music sometimes, but the fact of the matter, I'm always going to deliver music with a message that always comes from my heart, that's always geared towards what's taking place in all of our lives. And most importantly, something that's going to offer inspiration and motivation for someone to improve their vibes for that moment, and in doing so, improve the quality of their life and their day. So that's a little bit about me, Taco.
To get this thing right, be a factor in my life. Oh, I'm count, come on, count, on me, on me, on me. For my people trapped inside of themselves, to trapped inside of themselves. More people in prison and incarcerated in jails. In life, we go through many changes and woes. Learn to count on yourself like fingers and toes and say, I'm counting on me. Hey, to get this thing right, be a factor in my life. Oh, I'm count. On me, on me, on me, on me.
Gala Music, happy to be joined today by Nikki Page, who says she's not dressed for this. And so we are going hand puppet answers, which I'm kind of into. All right, Nikki's hand puppet. We would love it if you could sort of just tell us about yourself and your music journey and maybe just some of your overall vibe.
Okay, I make music my whole life. It's been a long time doing it, struggling with no expectations. Everyone else did. They thought there was money in it. There's not. You just, you get famous, you get whatever you get out of it. I get hope and I get help, and I find people that I want to hope to help find the same type of love I feel while I do it. I started when my mom told me I was doing singing Pop Goes the Weasel at like 6 months old, and that was the first time that she ever heard me sing. And dang it, dude, it took me through this whole journey. I mean, talk about change your name, change everything about you, change everything it was just stupid. It was stupid. I started too young. I can highly suggest not to start too young. I can highly suggest to get really good in practice very young. But it was don't expect anything too young. That's the craziest part. You wind up with Disney or whatever. But so I started really young, and I never tried to be the best at any instrument. I never tried to be the best at any production. That kind of came hand in hand later. And now people actually, when I get in the studio, they actually take my advice because I started really young. So I got good at it. Hopefully I'm good at it because they still keep calling, So, if they're not going to do it, if no one's going to do it, I guess I'll do it. But I'm going to go like this. I'm going to wear these or something like this. And I'm going to go like this. It's just music. It's just music.